with regard to our journalist friends, we can answer your questions towards the end. So without much further ado, I welcome you to the program once again, and I hand over my mic to Vaibhav.
Thank you, Mayur. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to everyone present. I welcome you formally to the launch of the launch event of Equifarm Tea. In many ways, it is a milestone event. Equifarm Tea is a realization of a dream shared by many, and more than that, it's a culmination of a decade of hard work of many people and many people whose lives have been touched through this initiative. I've been fortunate enough to be part of this journey myself as well. At the same time, we all are also hoping that the initiative of Equifarm Tea and its associated members will act as a beacon of hope and transformation for our Indian small tea grower community. We have some special guests with us today from different industries and different sectors and different parts of the world, and some of whom deserve a special mention. So I'll start off with Mr. J. John, who is the Managing Director of Grassroots Tea Corporation, Adina Pasula, who is the Supply Chain Leader, IKEA Sweden, Mr. S.S. Selvam, who is the owner and Chief Executive Officer of Tea Academy, Siliguri, and also a Master Tea Expert, Mr. Baiju Kuru, Chief General Manager, NABARD, Mr. Bijoy Gopal Chakrabarti, the President, Sister, Shamul Kaushal, tea industry expert, who would be joining us from Bangladesh, Anupam Besbora, the Development Officer, Tea Board of India, Udalguri District, and all participants and members of the press who have joined the event or are tuning in through our live stream on social media. Last and very important, I would like to welcome and introduce our chair for today, Mrs. Bharti Birla. She currently works as the Chief Technical Advisor at ILO, United Nations. She leads two of ILO's Southeast Asia projects. One is Sustainable Global Supply Chains in Southeast Asia and Safety and Health for All Plantation Workers in Southeast Asia. Focusing mainly on workers in the low tiers of the global supply chain. She has been working with ILO since 2009 and is based out of their office in Delhi. Bharti comes in with over 25 years of experience in the development and corporate sector in varied capacities, including pharmaceutical, IT, legal sector, and intellectual property rights, including patents. She has also represented ILO on different government and interministerial task force and committees. She's an international trainer and has also conducted trainings at the ILO's Training Institute in Torino, Italy. My heartfelt welcome to each and everyone, and on behalf of Grassroots Tea Corporation and our associated small tea grower producer societies. And I now hand over the proceedings to Bharti for the remainder of the event.
Thank you so much, Weber. It's great to be here on this launch of Equifarm Tea, the retail sale of Grassroots Tea Corporation. The retail tea corporation and this new brand name of Equifarm Tea. I think, as I understand, GTC is a producer company aimed at enabling participation and fair compensation for all small tea growers at all stages of the value chain. And this whole retail tea is cultivated, produced, and processed by small tea growers, which is very exciting about this whole initiative. The tea sector in India has a long history. We are quite aware of that. And we also know that as part of this important tea growing sector, the role of small producers and small growers who are vital part of the country's economic fabric as well, contributing not just to employment to 100,000 people, especially women, but also generating foreign exchange earnings for the country. And we also are aware that the tea industry and tea workers both have been facing multiple challenges throughout the years, and there are innovative methods or solutions being always looked at. And what I understand today is this is a very innovative model which is being tried out, and we know that it is touching millions of workers and thousands of workers now, but it's a system which can actually touch millions of workers. We know that smallholders and their production systems play a very significant role in the future of the tea industry, and therefore nurturing such kind of innovative models is important. What I want to say today also is that the future of the tea industry will also greatly depend on how adequately we tackle the multifaceted challenges that are faced by small growers and workers, and how do we address those challenges, especially knowing that women are also part of the whole tea industry. In the context of ILO, ILO experience has shown that globally such agglomerates are very important also for not just providing employment but sustained employment and income to the workers, and also for making essential infrastructure and services available in areas which remain neglected or excluded from the mainstream development. So not just from the economic point of view, but also from a social point of view, such initiatives are welcome. And of course, they contribute towards promotion of decent work and advancing sustainable development goals. So I once again congratulate GTC for the launch of the new brand Equifarm Tea. And with this, I also invite Jay John, who will be talking about a little bit more about what Equifarm Tea is all about and where it comes from. Jay John, as you many of you are already aware, he leads the Grassroots Tea Corporation, a tea farmers enterprise. John envisions an industry where small-scale tea farmers look at each other as partners to collaborate with, and as opposed to competitors, so that they can all participate and benefit equitably from the tea supply chains. Uh, he was the executive director of Center for Education and Communication. We've seen him in that role. Many of us have seen him in that role, and now we also see him in this new role. Jay John is also an Ashoka Fellow. I welcome John to speak a little bit about this whole initiative and the brand Equiform Tea. Over to you, John.
Thank you, Bharati. Um, I'll just share my screen. Is it visible now? Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes. Is it okay now?
Yes, John, it's visible and it's clear.
Okay. See, I'll just try to run you through the journey that we had, and will not be going into a conceptual discussion of what what Grassroots Tea Corporation or Equifarm Tea is, but more how we have traveled, and that is what largely I will be looking at. Very quickly, I'll see. It has already been said that the Grassroots Tea Corporation is part of Equifarm Tea project, and it empowers small tea growers to cultivate chemical-free tea, collectively own processing unit, and then market it. We have a packaging unit and warehouse in Barpeta. Now, who are small tea growers? Small tea growers almost produce more than half of tea in India now. They have or own less than 2 acres of land on an average, and they have been cultivating something else earlier. They have moved into this sector mainly because of a shift in the structure of tea industry over a period of time, which is around 20 to 25 years largely. And what has happened is that the big corporations moved out from cultivating tea and they started concentrating on the upper end of the value chain. And meanwhile, there was also a demand for tea in India. Tea board allowed the growth of small tea growers, and that has resulted the emergence of another group besides the estate factory, what we call bodily factories also. And the small tea growers, they depend on leaf agents to supply their leaf to the factories, which will have to be supplied within 4 hours of plucking. And they usually don't have own transportation. And the processing factories sometimes say that this is not of good quality. And overall, what happens is that of low price realization. And also the tea bushes are being advised to be used chemicals and pesticides by probably leaf agents to increase production. So that will also affect the consumers. The farmers also experience indebtedness, and they are excluded from the value chain. So if you look at the value chain, see, it is a huge one. It goes from the estate factory, I mean the plantation at the lower end, the estates, and then move up when it reaches to the consumer. It goes through a various steps. But now you come and see where small tea growers are there. They are almost at the level in which the plantations are there. In between, there is a leaf agent, and then the bodily factory get attached to the tea value chain. And that is where they can go. So their negotiation, their access to the tea value chain largely ends at the leaf agent, at the most at the board leaf factory. Beyond that, there isn't anything. There is the farmers are not linked at all. So there is an exclusion from the tea value chain. At the same time, they are integrated into the tea value chain. As a result of that, a major factor that happens is that if there is any risk which happens at any of the later stage of the value chain, it gets transferred to the small tea growers, and the rest of the people escape the shock of the problem. So that is what has happened. So, like, I mean, worse than probably the tea plantation workers, small tea growers are dependent on the fluctuations of the market and also face the risk which are being passed on by the others. So the question was that, can we reach an unreachable? Can we think of a situation where the small farmers can reach the conscious consumers through the processes of processing and marketing? With this objective, I think we had a kind of a vision of improving the outcomes of all SDGs in India so that they get economic justice and fair compensation. And this has to be also to be linked to the consumers, because the consumers have the right to get high quality, ethical, ecological, traceable tea, and whether that can be achieved and how this can be managed or done through market-linked farmers movement, where farmers will be compensated at various stages of the value accrual. So this is what we have thought, and then it went through 3 stages probably. The first stage, as we have seen in the previous image. So the first stage was a process in which the farmers are encouraged to realize themselves, a self-realization, a process of collect. See, earlier they were individuals supplying to the leaf agent. There was no collective feeling. There was no identity as a small tea grower. So there is the need for self-realization, collectivization. which is a process of empowerment of the farmers, giving them confidence. Okay, we know what we are growing. We know how it is to be grown. We know how it is to be sold. And that is a process of negotiating capability being built. That negotiating capability with all intermediary organizations. Intermediary organizations are many, but like at the policy level, there is the Tea Board of India. At the local level, the leaf agent, the processing factories, the people who supply them chemicals and fertilizers. So their ability to negotiate collectively is what was done earlier. And that was done through Center for Education and Communication, which worked with NABARD and also European Union, collectivized more than 50,000 farmers all over India, and which had a positive impact on the farmers. And the next stage, we looked at, okay, we are only giving the leaf to the bodily factories now. Can we go to the next stage and have our own factories? So this is a picture where the factory was being inaugurated, active. I mean, and the women are, I mean, very much being part of it and looking at it. And then now they are part of the processing of in the tea industry. So what we had to do is that we had to think of legal mechanisms by which what is the best instrumentality, identity that they should have, whether it should be a society, whether it should be a cooperative society, whether it should be anything else, individuals. So then it was decided that the mode could be a tea producer company. The tea producer company under the Company Act, because of various issues involving capital mobilization and everything. In that process, the whole group had to look at capital from where it is coming. We had to look at the land, construct the building, then negotiate with the machinery suppliers, and look at the standards in which they have to cultivate the tea, avoiding chemicals and fertilizers. So that process has gone on, and there was in a kind of a major breakthrough negotiation with NABARD and NAFINS. NAFINS gave a kind of investment, and then they could set up the factory. After which Tea Board of India also contributed, gave subsidy, and the tea factories were set up. And beyond that, and the next stage, if the tea is manufactured here, it's also important to decide what should be the kind of tea to be produced, what should be the quality, and what should be the nature of the tea that will be manufactured. It also depended upon what kind of machinery to be bought. And see, both the farmers were not allowed to have mini tea processing factories. Initially, there was policy intervention required, and then the tea machine manufacturing units, I mean, the machinery builders were not, they didn't know how to make mini machineries, so we had to negotiate with them. So that was a major process that we have went through. Then the question is, after this, what? The tea is produced, tea is manufactured, processed. Where will it go? Who will buy it? And there are experiences where we have seen that small farmers collectives, 50 to 60 or 20 to 25, coming together and setting up, they may sell it for 1 month, 2 months, maybe at the most 1 year. After that, they will collapse because they will not be able to negotiate with the pressures of the market. So, and the next stage, therefore, was in terms of setting up a marketing company. So that marketing company is in the same way as tea producer company is owned by the farmers, have taken the equity and set it up. And in the same way, the Grassroots Tea Corporation, which was set up, will also be managed and owned by the farmers or the tea producer companies. So we have the small tea growers. They are processing farmer-owned, farmer-governed, natural, socially and ecologically sustainable, traceable. Traceable is a very important point that most of us do not know where the tea that we drink come from. But we should be able to tell any consumer that will be able to tell you from where it is coming. And it is also produced socially and ecologically sustainable because chemicals are not put into it, and even the manufacturing process integrates ecological sustainability. If that is the case, then how it goes to the consumers, and that is through the Grassroots Tea Corporation set up for the purpose, and Equifarm Tea as a brand of the farmer produced tea. So this is what happened kind of so far, and where from there we have our own the warehouse and packaging unit. The warehouse and packaging unit, if you can see that there is the bulk tea and also the Equifarm tea, the logo which is visible here, and the products over here. So this is the way in which that we intend to move. Already the small tea growers are manufacturing tea. It is going in bulk to the buyers. Now we are taking the next step, important step of getting into the retail process. I just wanted to emphasize here a point. All these things was not possible unless and until a team was built, partners were there with us. The partnership and the team was, for example, the farmers, the Kukol, Sabin, Sanjurang, Mansarang, Bijoy, all have become leaders. They have grown in the process, now taking leadership and leading their own factory. We also have Minto and Niju along with us. We had Aniradha helping us, Varun helping us. The whole process is not something just you can just carry out. We have to have a business plan. We have to have the economics worked out. What are the inputs? What are the output? How we can manage the intermediate steps. So we had chartered accountants, R.K. Tuli, Rujiga Sharda, Saurav Sahewala, Bikash Agarwal with us. We came when we were in a crisis. We couldn't move ahead. There were people like Snehil, Vaibhav, Anupriya, Rohit who came in. We had to design our logo, and there came in Shivani, Danish, and Deepani. And the Manish Pante is ready with our website. And you can visit the website now and you can see that it is ready even with the products. And we were also supported by people like Pallavi, Mayur, Joy, and Faisal. And then the most important was institutional support. Institutional support was there from CEC, from Tradecraft. And initial work were done through this collaboration. And this work was led to the situation where the Ashoka Innovators for the Public accepting the program and then making part of the fellowship program. So then that led to in collaborating with the DELA program of IKEA. So the Tea Board of India has been quite supportive and at various stages. As I said, the NAFINS is the financial institution which gave us money. And NABARD has always been with us in going ahead. Hamilton Engineering is the machinery supplier who listened to us, altered the way in which the machinery is to be built and gave us. Tea Consultants also did it. And then comes the Parkon India and Nazima, who are our buyers, and then our brokers who help us in reaching out to the final buyers. Then we were also supported by startup and Nidhi Consulting in helping us to build us and with the growers, individual growers, the TPC, as well as the grassroots as business entities. So this is all possible. So this is our team, very happy, active, and they are the team of farmers who are there in the field. But we lost one person who was there in the earlier picture. He was he was actually with us throughout, gave the power to the farmers, being with them, but we lost him during just a few months ago, 2 3 months ago, during the COVID second period. I just wanted to remember him. I also would like all of you to remember him, his contribution. Piyush Goyari is his name. He has been the strength of the program, and even now I think the people very, very seriously, very warmly remember him. So in this process, what is it that we got at the end? See, we got at the end, the small farmers are produced, and they are the owners of the land. They are constituted the tea producer companies. They are supplying leaf which is sustainable. And when they give it, the producer companies give more than average price to the farmers, and the byproducts are used, not wasted, but it is used as compost. From there, the manufactured tea is bought by the Grassroots Tea Corporation. It is the orthodox and green tea which is manufactured, and there in the process of giving them more than the auction price, and from there we are giving the consumers the best tea that they can experience in packaged and branded and in a bulk form. So this is where the farmers, where the value get accrued at the factory side, where the made tea is sold, and where it reaches to the farmers, the value that is accrued is shared with the small tea farmers. This is the essence of our program. This is the essence of our value, and we look forward, all of you, to help the farmers in the growth of this innovative program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, John, for taking us through an amazing journey, a journey which was not very easy, but a journey which has made a significant contribution, has turned, small farmers into producers, to entrepreneurs producing socially and ecologically sustainable tea, taking tea from grassroots to the conscious consumers. I think you also mentioned the contribution. No, all big things require contribution from a lot of people, and it's great to see the team effort coming to this form today, where we have a brand which consumers can buy. So many congratulations for this journey, for you and for all the team and all the farmers who are producing this tea. Now I would request Mr. Kakul Boro, the voices
Yeah.
from the Kukul Boro, the voices from the farmer producer, to say a few things about the tea and the journey. Thank you.
Kulumbai. Good afternoon to all. Today is a historical day for us, for Redimsa, Redimkhang, Simkur Valley, and Alupara TPC, that is Tea Producer Company, as we the farmers and the GTC. The Farmers Marketing Company is launching the retail sale in the brand Equifarm Tea. This was a dream we as a STC have seen since last 8 to 9 years. But finally today we could make it happen. The dream which around 200 STC families have seen has come true. And this was possible only because of Sir John and CEC and the team of CEC. Thank you, sir, for transforming us and making us reach to this stage. Today, I, on behalf of the TPC, would like to share in brief the journey which we have come up. This was way back in the year 2010. We as a STZ were not organized. We were unable to sell our green leaf directly to the board leaf factory or the estate factories, as we have small garden and our quantity was less. So we had to sell through leaf agent. As a result, we used to get less price. This was for almost 4 to 5 years, until by the end of 2012, that we came to know that NGO known as CEC is organizing the SDGs to form primary producer society. In fact, I have to take the name of Mr. Pijus Goyari, who was working for CEC, came to our village and told us regarding the concept of CEC and their project, Sustainable Livelihood for Small Tea Growers. He told us to organize and form a society through which we will be able to sell our green leaf directly to board leaf factory and to estate factories. And this is how we will be able to benefit from Tea Board of India schemes, and we will be sustainable as a small tea growers. So this is how we started Ridum Khang, Simkar Valley, Alupara, and Ridumsa Society. Later in the year 2016, we registered as a tea producer company. And as a producer company, in the beginning, there were some problems in the beginning. We had to face problems like basically motivating the STG members on a concept of establishing a factory all by ourselves was challenging, because that had never happened before. And there were people who were talking behind us. Even our members had a doubt, because people were putting or giving negative thoughts on their mind or on the mind of our members. They were thinking that, will that be really possible? So that happens everywhere. That's okay, and that's normal. And that type of stuff made us work dedicatedly and made us reach where we are today. As a farmer, we had also difficulty in getting the compliances, but we had a will and we did it. And today we can proudly say that we have a factory, a STG factory, where we manufacture our tea all by ourselves and sell it all by ourselves. That was the dream or goal which we were chasing for since last 8 to 10 years. Finally, today, after many ups and downs, we could make it happen. And that was possible because of you, Sir John, because of the CC team, Mr. Pijus Goyari and Minto. Thank you, sir, for believing in us. We have many more miles to go. Today is the beginning. Today is the day of farmers. Today is the day of GTC. Let the small tea growers of the world unite and eradicate the leaf agent. Let us be part of the value chain. Thank you all. Thank you once again, sir, for believing in me, for believing in us, that we will be able to speak on behalf of TPCs. Thank you all. Gazanthal.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful to hear from you and all the TPCs, and also about your collective journey, a journey of strength, a determination, a journey of building trust and taking people along with great dedication. And I think it's really great to see your dream coming true today with the launch of this retail brand Equifarm, a brand by the growers themselves, which can reach the consumer market. So many congratulations to all of you once again for this historical moment today, and wishing you all the best and success. I now request for a product launch message from Adina Pasula, supply chain leader from IKEA Sweden. Adina works as supply chain leader in IKEA and is supporting the IKEA social entrepreneurship as implementation partner in the Della Accelerator program. As I understand, Della Accelerator program is a joint program of IKEA and Ashoka's, an initiative to support leading social entrepreneurs to develop their impact and scaling strategies. Romanian, living in Sweden for some years now. Adina has a passion for business, passion for people, and passion for sustainable development. Over to you, Adina, for your product launch message. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to this occasion. I'm happy to be here and see the results of your hard work and dedication. It is an amazing milestone in your vision, and it was achieved during a global pandemic, no less. I have had the pleasure to meet you and the farmers in my role as implementation partner in the DELA Accelerator that IKEA Social Entrepreneurship organized together with their NGO partner Ashoka, where Mr. J. John is part as Ashoka Fellows, and he was participating in the accelerator. DELA means to share in Swedish, and that's another quirky name that maybe you start to get used to from our products. And sharing is exactly what this accelerator was all about. It was about sharing knowledge, experience, perspectives, and networks to support the social entrepreneurs who are striving to make a positive impact on society, to solve systemic challenges, and improve the lives of the vulnerable and marginalized people. The DELA program intentionally focused on system change because we acknowledge that achieving lasting change and social impact often requires altering underlying structures and support mechanisms, which make a particular system operate in a certain way. IKEA Social Entrepreneurship has the vision that working with pioneers like Mr. J. John, who use their business as a way to make everyday life better for those who need it most, we strive towards a more equal and inclusive society. By baking and working with social entrepreneurs, we create new opportunities and contribute to better everyday lives for the world. The vision is to increase inclusion, equality, and to give people the opportunity to earn a decent living. And this is why the DELA program was also split into two phases. One was the strategic phase, where IKEA co-workers join advisory teams supporting the social entrepreneurs with their system change strategies. And everything culminated in a summit where the social entrepreneurs worked with IKEA co-workers and other business leaders on their strategies. They received feedback and they made the final adjustments on the strategies. And this is also where I stepped in, and I've met Mr. J. John in the summit as an implementation partner. And we started working together on a set of milestones of the implementation and to start the systemic change journey. It was a very, very nice time to meet you before the pandemic. I think it was one of the last business trips. It was truly an honor to be there and to meet you and other social entrepreneurs and pioneers in different ways. Globally, it is estimated that 75% of farmland is cultivated by small-scale farmers. And you have mentioned that in India, small tea growers contribute to almost half of the tea production. By the nature of the tea leaves and the tea production, and this I learned, yes, that leaves need to be processed within 4 hours of picking, the small tea growers are vulnerable and dependent on other actors in the industry. They need support and a business model that enables them to provide for their families in a sustainable way. And I believe this initiative does exactly that. You are developing a business model that empowers the small tea farmers to bring their product to the market and to the final consumers at the correct price for their labor. As implementation partner, I got the chance to learn a lot about the tea manufacturing process, and I was truly impressed by your vision of creating a business model that enables the farmers to take responsibility of more steps in the production and increasing their earnings and involving the entire community in the process. It was a truly community project, and I could feel that. I could see the hard work the community is dedicated to the project and their belief that this is the future for them and for the next generation. There was love, and I could also hear it today for the tea plant cultivation and the tea manufacturing. And I was also impressed by all the partnerships that you have done, and you have mentioned them much better than I could, and all the people and organizations that supported you. Like for me, working a bit with manufacturing, I can say that one of the examples was this with the equipment manufacturing that supported you in designing and producing the equipment optimized for what the small tea factories needed. And of course, all the other partners and the support you had. To solve a complex problem, we may need changes in policies, in routines, in relationships, resources, power structures, and values. And because one actor can rarely affect all of this, collective impact is highlighted in the systems change approach. There is a need to collaborate with other actors and focus on how to scale the impact of one solution rather than on scaling one organization. And I could see that one success factor for you and why we are here today was to engage different actors in India that can support at different stages the change. And I can see that many of them are present here today. Thank you for the opportunity to be a very, very small part and support the initiative. And good luck with the tea retail sales and your continued support for the farmers that cultivate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adina. I think the collective journey so far has been very inspiring listening to you as well. I think what is important is that this journey has been able to bring together farmers themselves and, enabling inclusion, equality, and also enabling income for everyone and involving the whole community. And I think that's really critical in such models where everyone in the process gets involved. Most of the challenges when we see in terms of exclusion is when people are not becoming part of the entire development agenda, and this kind of process actually brings them closer. What I also see in this whole process is there is a transitioning happening from informality to formality. So informality itself is not bad, but sometimes it is also a challenge because the issues of decent work, issues of decent income, social security, enabling uh, uh, enabling income for people becomes critical. But this form where you're transforming from informal to more formal structures, you're also trying to create value for the system, but at the same time enabling decent work for workers and the small producers who are there. So a great initiative. Thank you so much. Now I invite also Mr. S.S. Selvam. He is a tea sector expert to share his review of the product. Over to you, Mr. Selvam. And before I invite you to speak, I also want to introduce you. You are the owner and chief executive of the Tea Academy at Siliguri. You've also worked at J. John Company Private Limited, which is one of the largest tea brokers since 1861, almost 160 years old now. You've been working there for the last 32 years. You're also the owner of Tea Mask, wholesale of CTC, Orthodox, and green tea. Tea Mask also blends teas as per the customer requirements, and also you have your own products. So over to you, Mr. Selvam, for your review of the product.
Should be a little bit of yellow bright, which was not there. But still, however, it tastes okay. The tasting is fine. It is very quite bright, and there's some richness. So that's it. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Thank you. Over to you, madam.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your
Thank you.
view. Thank you. I'm sure there are many people who would love to taste the tea, and I actually encourage everyone to do that. Now I would request Mr. Baby Guru, uh, who is working as Chief General Manager of NABARD, the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, Assam, and he's at the Assam Regional Office. Uh, Mr. Kuru is a graduate in engineering and postgraduate in management. He has worked in various regional offices of NABARD at Odisha, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu, as well as its head office in Mumbai, in different capacities. He has an experience of more than 3 decades in the development banking sector. As you all are aware, NABARD is India's largest development finance institution owned by the government of India, and is involved in facilitating credit and related services to the agricultural and rural development sector. I request Mr. Karup to say a few words.
Yeah, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah, good afternoon, respected chairperson for this function, respected Mr. John, other dignitaries. First of all, it's a great pleasure from my side for joining in this August program of launching a product of small pig growers. In fact, when Mr. John has given me a note on this product and other details, I was quite impressed by with a paragraph of which that exactly is the principle in which we are also now trying to propagate the producers organizations in the country. What I just, because that line has attracted me a lot, that EQ farm team model is that the farmers will be compensated at three main stages of value creation. When the farmers sell their produce for processing, when the factories sell their manufactured tea to the marketing company, and when the marketing company sells the branded product to the consumers. In fact, NABARD, as Madam was telling initially, NABARD is mandated to improve the rural prosperity in the country. With that mandate, we work. And during the last 3.5 decades of we being working in this country, we had continuously we were bringing out various models through which this our aim of or our mandated objective to be achieved. So we had changed from our earlier programs, projects, etc., to something more for further value creation in the whole system. And now, for the last couple of years, our major focus is for facilitation in aggregation of farmers to a farmers producer company. FPO, what we call in our terms, farmer producers company, is the more farmer producers company is what we believe that a better share of the consumer price can be transferred to the producer, so that the ultimately a better price realization will be obtained for the producer. That's what the models in which we are working. And exactly on the same principle, what you are given in the note, I feel that it is working. That is why your model, what I feel is a really appreciable model. And congratulations to bringing to all this stage. Congratulations to all the people who are involved with it, all the stakeholders who are involved with it, and seeing that at the end of the day, the producers are going to get a better price. Good. And as you are told, Assam in the India tea producing, half the percentage of the producers are from the small and tea growers. And the price realization, particularly what we have seen in Assam, is that the small tea growers are suffering the most. Last week also, we were internally discussing about doing something, means carrying out a project for small tea growers in the district of Dibrugarh. We were discussing internally that how little more, because they were having a plan to bring out an aggregation of farmers who are planning to do with handmade orthodox tea. So bringing into the fold of them, but seeing then bringing into 200 or 300 farmers to in the process, we were wondering that when a handmade orthodox tea is produced to that quantity for the small farmers, where is the market for it? So without a defined market, without understanding that market in detail, going back and producing or going back and pushing the farmers to have a process like this, will they suffer after all? Because they are going to have a zero-based natural farming based or organic model based handmade tea processing. That is what they were envisaging. And a project in which we are also slightly keen in pushing it up. So you are right, because what your presentation was also excellent, Mr. John, because you had really pointed out the difficulties in really aggregating the farmers and afterwards trying to bring their products forward and in the how to break into that supply chain. Yes, this is a real problem. I hope now you have found out at least a solution to do that. This will be taken up to the next level. And this has to be the model, whatever the model, according to us, you can make it. Everything is good, but the model has to be sustainable. all the stakeholders, all the players in the long run, because the stakeholders also, not only the producers or the suppliers or the other chain distributors, but there are also other stakeholders like that. You may requiring a lot of credit, you may require a lot of finances. All of them are there into the whole game. The total system should be sustainable. Then the whole aim and whole objective of ours, I'm sure it will be going ahead. But the strength and the inputs you are given for it, definitely it's indicating that you are going to reach that stage, and I hope it will be reached. And your farmer producer organizations or the tea producers organization CEO who was talking also, he was very enthusiastically telling about to what level he can reach it. That is the real belief he is having in the system. And if we let his belief come true, and let all these producers try to get little more what they are getting now, and from the system more money to them, and so that the whole system will become sustainable. With this, I again congratulate all the participants, or all the parties who are associated with it, all the stakeholders who are associated with it. Let us have a good beginning and let it achieve its goal. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk with you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would now request Mr. Bijoy Gopal Chakravarti, President SISTA, to say a few words. Mr. Bijoy is a small tea grower having experience in the tea for last 25 years. He promotes collectives of small tea growers and represents SISTA on the Tea Board of India as a special invitee member. He's a council member of Trustee, Agriculture and Machinery Committee member of Tea Research Association as well, and member of Food Agriculture Organizations, FAOs, internal governmental group from the small tree growers community. I request Mr. Vijay Gopal Chakravarti to say a few words.
Thank you, John sir and CEC, for inviting me to this auspicious day for the small tea growers. And firstly, I, on behalf of Confederation of Indian Small Tea Growers Association SISTA, convey our sincere thanks and best wishes to the Grassroots Tea Corporation to launch its retail brand Equifarm Tea made of small tea growers. Really, today is the red letter day for the small tea growers community, where you see the prominent footprint of the small tea growers. Usually, the small tea growers are selling their highly perishable produce to the factories where there is no footprint of small tea growers. Small tea growers community of Assam, Bengal already passed their cultivation period of 25 years. But it is very unfortunate to say that till date there is no brand identity of the small tea growers in India. Though in the market, many retailers, many wholesalers, many packagers sell their teas as the name of small tea growers with their own business strategy. But in case of Equifarm tea, you will get the pure taste of true small tea growers. From SISTA, Confederation of Indian Small Tea Growers Association, we tried to convert the small tea growers by the tagline "Leaf to Cup." Some cases we achieved it, but it is my confident hope that Equifarm tea brand will show the change maker of the small scale tea cultivation in India in future days. Lastly, I sincerely thanks to CC and John sir for the constant effort to establish the brand value of the small tea growers tea. It is glad to share that Hindustan Liver Limited, the big giant packagers of India, has taken interest to purchase the Equifarm tea. Hope in future days, this brand will be showing in supermarkets and malls of different states as well as abroad. All the best to my small tea grower friends of Grassroots venture, and keep it up with more good works with the production of ethical, ecological, and traceability friendly tea. All the best and congratulations, the Grassroots whole team and John sir and the CEC. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for inviting me to share my views.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now invite Mr. Anupam Bisbura. He's from the Tea Board of India and is posted as a development officer in Udalgiri district. He has been here since January 2014 and works very closely with the TPCs and STGs and self-help groups for their development. Uh, and I think he's been working with them in terms of organizing needs-based workshops and trainings. Over to you, Mr. Anupam, to say a few words.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this launch of Grassroots Tree Corporations, which includes the four tea producer companies. Three are from the part where I am posted in Udalguri district. Uh, Firstly, as the Kufal have mentioned, I have joined them in 2014 in this transitional journey. And since then, I have been associated with them in their everyday, day-to-day works, which is in relation to us, which is also my part of job. And I would also, it goes without saying that late Piyush Goyari, he have been a very active person in organizing these groups to in a more organized way. As small tea growers are mostly considered in unorganized sectors. So in 2014, when I joined here, then I have met Piyush Goyari, late Piyush. He have formed many small self-help groups, registered them as societies under CEC. So myself along with Piyush, we have identified some groups, active groups, which can uh, 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 perform as a producer company or something, like they can produce their own product of their own and not much dependent on other factories which they used to supply usually. And among them, these three groups were also there. Then from T-Board, we have, as per our schemes, I have tried to avail them as and when needed, and I have tried to uh, give them the subsidies, almost all the subsidies that are related to producer companies or societies, whether it may be field mechanization equipments, leaf shade house, manuring godam, laptops, uh, for registering of a producer company, and all sorts of those schemes. And now that they are producing their own tea, although they have come from a very long journey, but still there are many more hardships to do. And for example, like Mr. Selbam have said, that the liquor and all, then tea quality. So those in those sectors, which is the main thing they are going to sell. So these things they have to improve drastically and very fast. They have to adapt to the marketing practices, which is now followed in organized sectors. So in that aspect, I am always there to help them. Even I am planning for this training program for tea manufacturing. It is not decided when, but I am planning in the lean season when they will be free from their manufacturing activities. And as orthodox or green tea is very specialty tea. This require lots of knowledge and also manpower. Or in CTC, that much of effort is not needed. In orthodox, everything is very much important, since it is considered as very it's an art in tea. So also apart from this, I have other plans, like how to improve the value of their product. For example, we can, I'm also planning, also it's a request for
I think we've lost you. Mr. Anupam, can you hear us? Hello. I think we've lost Mr. Anupam, but maybe we'll move forward and he can come in the end again. I would request Mr. Shamal Ghoshal today to also speak a few words. He's been connected with the tea industry for more than 45 years and has done several projects in India and abroad. And he's been also connected with this initiative which was, which is the whole idea of the TPCs and putting these together. So I would request Mr. Shamal Ghosh to also say few words about this journey and his connection with the entire project. Over to you, Mr. Ghoshal.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Yes, hello.
Hello, can everybody hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and greetings from Bangladesh. I have come here on a small assignment, and I'm so happy that Mr. John has been able to rig up this meeting, and I'm seeing so many people over here, so it's really making me very, very much happy to know that such a thing is happening. And I would like to also mention my association with this project and Grassroots right from the initial stage where Mr. John and me, we sat down and we did a lot of discussions. We visited sites, and the uphill climb was quite a bit. So we didn't know whether it's going to take off or not. And especially with
You're not able to hear, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. We can hear you.
Okay. So, it was an uphill task, and
Not able to hear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, I think the problem might be from your end because we can properly hear Mr. Shamal
Mr.
Ghoshal.
Shamal, we are able to hear you. We are able to hear you clearly. I think Selvam sir's maybe connection is a bit weak, but we all can hear you clearly.
Okay. I can also hear you guys, so it's okay. So let me carry on. So as I was saying, I was mentioning that this model which Mr. John has been doing so many years, and from the initial start, I was there designing the factory and putting things together, and ultimately it came through, and they started making teas. I visited a number of times that place. And I know that it has a great future now that he has assembled his small blending unit, where I have also taken some part in it. And now the question is that it's, as others were also mentioning earlier, I heard that it's a question of competition, the question of productivity, the question of continuation, and it's a question for the producers to keep a continuity and a quality control over their products. It should be that is the way to probably get a brand image, and they will be very soon be able to reach different better heights with this sort of a thing. The farmers are very much clever, and they are also very cooperative. John has done a wonderful job with them. I don't think I would have been able to do that. So he's done a very good job in getting everybody together and putting up these units. So I think that it's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I'm sure we can all also, assist and help out in making sure that his product will also be. I have been associated with some blending assignments earlier also. Last year I was caught in the COVID, so I couldn't come back home. I was stuck in Nigeria, and I did a blending project there for them, and that project has also taken off. So now in Bangladesh they also approached me for some projects here. I've been also talking to some small growers here to put up some small units and all. So yesterday we had a discussion and we said we need to value add. They've got a very good Japanese green tea factory, but they can't sell well because in Assam also we got similar Japanese high-tech factories, but they can't sell well because the price of the tea is very high. So we have to take that into consideration. At the same time, we have to value add. So I have told them that we need to put other herbal infusions and things, and they have called me back again for future assignments with this herbal thing. So I think that so many ideas are there and so many things are there, and it's a vast market in India. So I'm sure John will be able to go ahead, and I wish him all the best. And I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ghoshal. I think what you said is very important also, because now there is a need to make sure that the enterprise remains competitive and sustainable, and there's a lot of things that need to be done to keep going. So thank you so much for your intervention and your support.
Thank you.
We would now open the session for question answers, and if you have any questions from Mr. John, the TPCs, or any of the speakers, feel free to type the question in the chat, and then we'll take it from there. Or if you would like to raise your hand, I can also call upon you to speak out. Looks we don't have any questions. If any of you want to ask or want to ask some more details from Mr. John, you feel free to ask that question now.
There is William has raised his hand.
Sure. Mr. William, would you like to go ahead, please?
Yeah, thanks a lot, and congrats to all the team of CEC and STG farmers. It's a real uphill task for bringing this kind of initiative in the context of corporate engagement, very much in business, and how the tree growers, small tree growers, can dent in this kind of business. I really appreciate that kind of commitment all the tree growers have. Two or three quick clarifications, as well as how we look into the future as the demand of tea versus other habits which are coming into the consumer regime as such, and what kind of labor then the producers who are involved, how the labor component is handled there at all levels. And I'm really interested, is there any other trade we can do like this apart from tea, for some other component where small farmers are interested, who are continuing to do, as we look at the tree context, what the tea has been taken up as a model for sustainable development by small farmers, and how much as a cost is involved to start this kind of endeavor. Thank you. Thank you, John, very much. Congrats to you.
Okay.
John, would you like to answer this?
What is the future? How do we go from here? I think it will be discussed, or it will be shared by Niju Sridharan, who is coming after this, and who is actually taking care of marketing and sales of the Grassroots Tea Corporation. And on the replication issue, I think it is very much possible with other agricultural crops. I mean, probably we will have to discuss, work it out in detail, considering the specificities of each of the crop. And that, I think, we hope that it will have to be replicated. And if it cannot be replicated, the effort that we are doing is not sustainable. So I think the replicability is a very important component that we think that will be possible. And in terms of the cost involved, each of the unit which has been set up, the capital investment, not the services rendered. The capital investment is around 1.35 to 1.4 crores of rupees, because the machinery is costly. The building has to be pakka. It has to accommodate people and various processes. So it was that much. But and in the unit, the maximum capacity utilization, the capacity is around, I would say 2,500 we said, but we realized that we need a little more bigger rollers to manage that. So at the moment, it will be 1,500 to 800 kgs of leaf that can be processed, and which means that divided by 4.5, because one kg of leaf require around 4.25 kg of the leaf. So this is the kind of a productivity. So it is the cost involved is also in that scale. But the big factories, maybe 8 crores, 9 crores, 10 crores. That's the big factories which we are not doing. Mr. Vijay Gopal Chakravarti is dealing with one or two of such factories in West Bengal, Jai Jalpesh and Panbari. So I think that is there, but otherwise it is the smaller mini factoring units that we are investing. And on the labor components, how they are handled, I don't know whether Kukol is involved over there. And Kukol, would you like to say something? Are any women workers there who can come in now and then share?
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, overall, I would say that the units, the farmers themselves are also contributing their time, a lot of their time in the factory, in processing the tea, and also the family members, women who were not actually doing other work, and they are also coming in. There are other women who are also coming in. So which means that it is generating employment. And if Kukol, if they have come, any one of them can share.
Yes, sir. They have come.
Yeah.
They're feeling shy, sir.
No issue, don't worry. all the time. But great.
Okay. It is, see the worker, if they want to say something, let them say that.
They want to say, but they are unable to say, sir.
Okay.
They are unable to say.
Bodo language.
Sorry, sir. They won't be able to say, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Actually, I talked to them. They were saying that they're very happy to get employment here, Before they used to work in a garden, tea garden. They used to pluck, and after establishing this factory, they are working here, and they're very happy that they're working inside the factory. And before they were working in the garden and in a very hot weather, and they're very happy that they are working inside this factory, and they are earning the same amount of money whatever they were earning earlier. So they are very happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a question in the chat box from Mr.
Yes.
Ronnie Joseph. Yeah.
Another question that has come in the chat box is from Roni Joseph is what is the average land holding of the family farmers and what all food crops are they growing other than tea? If someone can answer that.
Kukul, would you want to say that, or should I say?
Yes, we have betel nut, we grow paddy, and we do grow vegetables, green vegetables.
And pigs also.
Yeah, we have piggery farm, and poultry farm also, and some of us also have goatry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, the average land ownership is less than 2 acres.
Yes,
land.
2 acres, less than 2 acres.
Less than.
Yes, less than 2 acres. So we all farmers are involved in the factory. We are not hiring from those who are not our farmers. Our farmers, our shareholders are working in our factory. We are not hiring from outside.
Another question that we have from Mr. Titu Mohanta is that whether the tea, sorry, just give me a second.
Yeah, tea is
Whether that is
marketed in
marketed
auction.
in auction market.
Yeah. See, it is tea marketing is a little quite complicated and established process. And if usually it has to go through the auction, but auction house, the tea produced in a manufacturing unit. But however, there is an exemption for mini tea processing factories. They can also sell outside. And if it is a big factory, 50% will have to go through the auction houses. But only one big problem is that the auction house means that it has to go to a warehouse managed or related to the auction house. The tea will have to go there first, and it has to have sufficient volume, and then it will be auctioned at many periods of time in the auction house. So the small farmers, when they are in the mini factories, it's not feasible. The feasibility is very difficult because the volume is not there. And so the auction is not very feasible for small tea growers. And also the recovery period is very high and longer period of time. So the production for the last 2 years was COVID time, and it hasn't happened very regularly. And it was only for a few months the production has happened. And this year also the same because of the COVID. But the tea is being directly sold to a buyer through a registered broker. That is how it is happening here.
There's another question from Mr. Manan Kumar. How does GTC plan to match the advertisement blitz of big tea companies? So how would you position your product and sell it?
Yeah, I think we should give that opportunity to Niju to respond to that. Hopefully he will give that. But Niju, also the time is very limited. Within the limited time, I think probably we should go to the next stage because for 27 already. Bharati?
Yes, so I pass on the mic. I'm sorry, I think that from my side, I think it would be, I would just close
You
this
you
question
you
answer
have
session. Yes.
yeah.
And I want to congratulate once again to GTC and all the tea growers for this wonderful launch. When I was looking at it through the lens of the ILO and the work that I do, I also see this as a very important innovative business model which is needed for the farmers and for the small growers. Also to overcome current challenges in the tea sector, such kind of nurturing and such kind of innovative models are very necessary to create, have a innovative cluster approach where farmers become producers and the sellers themselves. It is a supply chain model which builds on the contractual relationships between farmers and their farmer companies, and there's a value addition for the products and services, but also the involvement of community. It's a social solidarity kind of initiative which brings together people, which brings together the entire community. Like here we just heard that everybody who's working in the factory is a farmer himself or herself. So women and men are from the same producer group who are also working. So it also enables the empowerment. It enables an improved bargaining position, a sense into business and profitability. But we also need to support and nurture these initiatives, especially the initiatives of this kind of producers themselves coming together, in terms of access to capital, access to market, access to uh, finance, which is easy, which can easily be taken by the workers, by the small producers. From the ILO side, we do have a lot of tools available, but the fact is that many of these tools also not reach to such producer cooperatives. I think there we need to nurture them. We need to make them grow bigger. Uh, Last, I would like to say that we should recognize how much important these innovative producer companies are. They are they are giving employment. They are creating infrastructure in the rural areas. They're creating access to services, but they also need a constant support and nurturing from different stakeholders, from buyers to industry organizations to government. And also we need to see how these can be exporters tomorrow. How do they encash on geographical indications or intellectual property that is created by them and give them more value, and how to make them more sustainable enterprises. So I think with this, I want to congratulate all of you once again for this very great initiative and the launch of the new retail brand Equifarm. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Niju, please come in. Hardi, can you invite Niju?
Yeah, hi. Good evening, all. I believe I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I have exactly 5 minutes with me, though I have a very bigger road to chase after this wonderful initiative and by thousands of people. I would rather say right now it is just tens or hundreds, but I am sure that this is going to be a game changer in the industry as well as the lives of thousands of people. So I'll just I'm looking after the sales and marketing part of this whole initiative. And as in any sales presentation, I have a small slide across to you. So maybe I can share my screen and I'll take 3 or 4 minutes to just do that. I believe my screen is audible, visible.
Yeah, it's just starting.
Yeah.
It's visible.
Okay, so I started my journey with Equifarm tea hardly around 9 or 10 months back. And initially, whatever the inputs that has been shared by Mr. John, that was the starting point. And I ran through some of the hardcore markets. First, it was we have been hearing a lot of stories about the exports part of it. Then I try to understand a little bit more on the domestic market for the whole leaf and the orthodox tea. So I traveled across India. I'm based out of Delhi right now. So I went to Delhi, I went to Amritsar, I went to Rampura, parts of Rajasthan. Then I have traveled across to Calcutta, Siliguri, and I was trying to understand how these markets behave, how the wholesale market behave, how the retail markets behave. And then I was doing some research on how what are the newer developments that are emerging in the consumer behavior pattern in the tea consumption part. So there's a very interesting question, how you are going to face the blitzkrieg advertisement blitzkrieg. So I think I'll touch upon when I'm just running through this. So as you will know, it is a huge market. It is growing at almost 2.95% CAGR, which is on a base of 15,000 million, which is a huge number. And the domestic consumption in itself is going at a very larger base, and it's growing once again at around 2.6%. The percentage of Indians taking tea, that's almost growing at nearly, I would rather say that 64%, it has reached almost 64%. And if you discount, tea is not a very popular drink with the kids or children. So at this point of time, so if you discount the percentage of population of children from there, I would rather say that among the adults, when I say adults from 18 to 40 years of age, which is the key drinking tea drinking age, that is a very significant number. North and West, they have the largest consumption, and I would rather say within the North, even the pattern in this 32% changes. For example, if you travel to Punjab, which is in the northwestern part of India, and they would like to take blended the whole orthodox tea, but with milk. If you travel to east, it will, in the north itself, if you travel a little bit more higher up towards Jammu and Kashmir, they would prefer to have more of green tea rather than that of hardcore whole leaf tea. In the east, yes, they would like to have more on the liquor front. South, I don't think there's a big market for the whole leaf tea. Overall, I would rather say there is a good market in the north and in the west as well as in the east. This is what I could figure it out. And nearly 88% consume tea, 96% penetration with the potential tea drinkers. And most important, there is a growing perception on the quality. Earlier it used to be like whatever the small time shops nearby, whatever he recommends, or whatever that is, what was cheaper in quality, because price factors and all used to decide on the nature of tea purchased. But there is a growing perception on the quality part of it. When I say quality part of it, if you come up to the top level of the urban ladder, people are becoming more health conscious. People are becoming more concerned on the sustainability, the way in which tea is produced, where it is coming. And when it comes to rural part, people are more concerned on what type of tea it is reaching them. They have reached first the brand awareness part, and the packaging, those things are getting in. And with internet penetration almost reaching 60-70% across the country, this spread of the quality part, that is becoming much faster, both in rural and urban. You speak to a person sitting in Indore or a person sitting in Delhi, he will say about the effects of, or you visit any wellness center, any hospital in these areas, they will equally, they will be getting the information through various social media channels about the importance and significance of having an orthodox tea. So it's just a matter of time before, people in India start moving into the significance or understanding the significance of orthodox tea. And I think we should, this is the right time we are entering in the market, and we should highlight the effort that we are taking in preparing, or the effort that we are taking in in preparing the high quality Orthodox tea. And the last 2 points, the price point, which was one of the major obstacle, which was a major obstacle for movement of the Orthodox tea, that is slowly diminishing, particularly in the urban areas. As per a Tea Board study of India, people are ready to spend even rupees 300 per month, which is coming more closer to some variety of Orthodox or green tea, which is something which is a big time revelation. At the same time, earlier there used to be like people never switched brands, and nearly 21% of the household, they are ready to switch brands just for the factor of a taste and quality, which means that maybe in my parents' time frame, there was one brand in South which used to dominate for nearly 15 to 20 years. But over in my house, we are ready to experiment or explore newer brands. So this is something. These are some of the statistics related, the quantitative changes that are happening. On the qualitative part, there is a shift which is happening due to rise in income. There is a rising aspirational value. People are getting more exposure due to more job opportunities. People are getting exposed to the quality products. They are traveling. They are shifting demographics. People are traveling. They are getting exposure to what is happening around the world. They are becoming more affluent. They are becoming more health conscious. And of course, the component of social responsibility, sustainability, the conservation of environment, all these points are now becoming more deep-rooted within the society, which we need to highlight more and more. Maybe that is the blitzkrieg that we have to do, rather than an advertisement where a film star or a celebrity coming and giving that wow feeling when he or she is taking a cup of tea, because tea is something more to do with what is the behind the scenes story of the tea is more important when you are selling something like an organic an Orthodox tea. This is what I could understand. Then the awareness building, as I told you earlier, the retailers used to play a big role, which has moved across to the digital media, Facebook, Instagram. These play a very critical role. You go to Facebook, there are thousands of groups which are promoting the orthodoxy. There are groups. There are wellness groups. There are plenty of groups which promote the cause of such kind of tea. Then the purchase points, that is also changing. Earlier, it used to be supermarkets, the retail shop. From there, particularly in 2021, there is the emergence of online. So that is something which is a critical shift that is happening. Now, on the qualitative part, once again, the breakfast tea. Earlier, tea used to happen only on a breakfast time, which is going to become an anytime drink. In many of the corporate world, people take at least around 8 to 10 cups of tea, and every time when they take a normal tea, the percentage of sugar, milk that goes into that awareness is being is coming into the young customers, and people are moving to there is a movement that is happening towards the non-milk tea without sugar. And there, the green tea and the whole leaf tea are becoming more popular. Okay, so these are some of the observations that we have found, based on which we have formulated what's our sales and marketing plan, at least for the coming quarter or 6 months down the line. So last year, as Mr. John has said, we sold nearly 11,000 kilos of sale in the wholesale market, and this mostly happened through the dealer segment, because we had a lot of the teething issues where in order to set up the whole system and the ecosystem of creating the channels and a lot of adjoining issues there. So with this year, then we along with the wholesale, we decided to move into the retail market, because that is where our brand will get established. So first and foremost, we identified the age group that we will be mostly targeting. This will be 18 to 40, because these are the key influencer group. They are the ones who would like to, have maximum tea drinkers. They are the ones, who would like to explore newer brands, who have a much penetration on the internet part of it, on the social media part of it, and particularly the educated urban rural. I don't find much of a difference over here, because the percolation of information is happening very fast, and we have to give the right information, right messaging down the channel, and I'm 100% sure that will be the best way by which we'll be able to go forward. Then the campaign, instead of going for big time hoardings, big time advertisements, I believe that the social media campaigns, the online and offline content marketing, that is what we are looking at. So social media, just a couple of days back, we published some articles over there. We started a Facebook site. We have an Instagram site, and one article alone in the social media, it invited nearly 30 to 40 leads, and that too, I think sometime back, Shamalda was telling that we have got from one of the biggest tea distributor, Unilever, has come with an inquiry for purchasing our tea, which is in fact a very significant development. Now, the key stories that we have to highlight over here is not with a celebrity. We have to highlight the behind the stories of Equifarm. Whatever I have heard, what Kukolda has said, the pain and the effort that you have taken, that you have taken in setting up the whole system, what the human impact of manufacturing the tea, number one. Number two, the ecological and the environmental conservation stories that Equifarm can tell. Number three, the health benefits that such kind of initiatives can bring across to a tea drinker. And number four, how you are contributing to such a movement, where you are ensuring that there is a maximum percolation of profits down the channel, and there is a financial inclusion that is happening in the long run. So these stories have to be told through various channels. So this will be our marketing tool. This will be our marketing strategy through across the campaigns. And on the key points of sales, yes, our e-com sites will be going active from October 17th. The tea will be available for sale at the Grassroots Tea Corporation website, in the Amazon, the Flipkart, the cloud kitchens. You might have heard there are around 5,000 odd cloud kitchens. These days, these are macro and micro ones. So it will be available across a prominent cloud kitchens from October 17th. It will be available. On the B2B, we are speaking with good hotel chains. We have got a database right now ready. We are also speaking with the airline catering units, and some of them cater to nearly 35 odd airlines. And if we are able to penetrate a couple of them, and these are a kind of customers who travel abroad, who actually know the significance of Orthodox tea. We are also speaking with the Apex organization of culinary influencers, some of the key chefs, who are the decision makers in big time hotel chains like ITC, the Taj, and Sheraton and all. And of course, it will not be an easy task, but yes, that is one area we are really taking it up. And also we are at the same time speaking with the National Restaurant Association of India, which is the apex body for all the organized restaurant chains across the country. We are also speaking with a couple of hospitals and wellness centers which have multiple branches across the country, like the Max, the Apollo. These people, there are on one side, they themselves have a very particular dietitian unit, and at the same time, they have a lot of foreign patients who are coming over there. And there is a significant market of this. We have got some positive leads also there. We are also thinking about cross-selling through the focused food products like e-com sellers. When I say this, there are a lot of new brand of e-com sellers that has come. For example, Country Delight, they have come with the milk products. There is a Chris Grass, they focus only on urban farming vegetable products. So these people whom they are going on there, those consumers, they want tea almost on a daily basis. So we are trying to partner with them and see how far we will be able to do a joint venture. We are do a piggybacking with them and give them a value add on that. We are also speaking with several of the corporate houses for in-house consumption and gifts, because many of them, as a part of their festive offerings as well as on the CSR offerings, they distribute gifts across to they give an opportunity, they distribute gifts across to their employees. Some of them have shown some initial interest, but several of them are in the negotiation process. Lastly, we are also thinking about, we are also speaking with the supermarket chains, but the challenge with the supermarket chains, because there will be a lot of credit exposure on the when you are going to touching the retail or any of these supermarket chains. So we will be taking a very conscious decision on how to go ahead on that, because at this point of time, finance and credit will be a really big challenge for us, because at this point of time, we are working with a 1.5 man army. One is Mr. John and half is mine. Okay, so that is how we are working right now. We are also thinking about how, speaking with the different government organizations, particularly, bulk buyers like defense, the government, the agro marketing agencies like the NAFED, the Market Fed and all. And this will be a slightly long-term process. We have initiated a couple of them, but it will take some time before we get a clarity. Maybe once we do something like after the first quarter analysis, maybe we will be in a better position to give some green highlights on this. So this is in a nutshell what we are planning to do. We are not looking at high blitzkrieg advertisement. We are telling the stories of behind the scenes stories of what our brothers and sisters in Buxa, in Barpeta are doing. And we are taking those stories across, and I'm 100% sure it will have it, because so far I have got a patient here from most of the customers whom I have gone and spoken with. This is how we are planning to move ahead. If there are any questions on this, I will be all the more happy to answer that. Maybe since because of the paucity of the time, I don't think I'll be in a position to speak or take those questions at this point of time. Okay, so let me. So I'm really happy that I am also a part of this noble initiative, and I am sure the presence of each one of us here, that everyone, either you have made a big difference in the whole initiative, or you can make a big difference in the coming days. First of all, thanks a lot to Miss Adina Prasula. Thanks for your good words on. She gave some very interesting words on the systemic change that has to be brought in the social entrepreneurship part, and the importance of collective and collaborative effort for that systemic change. Thanks a lot for taking out your time. It is afternoon time, I believe lunchtime in Sweden. Thanks a lot for taking your time and coming and spending some good time and sharing some good words with us. Secondly, I'm not calling in because I'll have to thank Mr. Cookhall and his team. I think rather than anyone else, you deserve the biggest, biggest thanks, more than the meeting part, because of the hard-earned work from you and the people around you. All these things have happened. I wished I could speak in Assamese and convey some good words across the people around you, but unfortunately, I'm still in the process of learning. Okay, thanks a lot for sharing your experience, and we are there with you, and we believe whatever your efforts, we will be able to do some justice in the market. Thanks a lot to Mr. Selvam sir. I have met him while on my way across the market for the qualitative inputs that you have shared. I believe that we will be able to do a lot of, that will be of really help to us in the coming days. I also thank Mr. Baiju and Kurup and for sharing some very good inputs on the vision of NABARD and how we should get it synchronized with the mission and vision of the GTC. I believe in the coming days we will be working very closely with you, and your direction and will be of great help in enabling us growing at a very fast pace. I'm also thankful to Mr. Bijoy Gopal Chakrabarti and Mr. Anupam Bisra and Mr. Shamal Ghoshal also for the good words that you have shared. Shamal Da in particular, I have met him while in Calcutta, and in fact, he has been really helpful in helping me understand some of the grassroots realities in this market, and it has really helped us formulate the sales and marketing plan ahead. And last but not the least, Mr. John, I am really thankful to you for all the effort that you have taken, and thanks for the wonderful words that way you mentioned regarding the overall journey on the that the GTC has taken in building up this whole system. You highlighted on the importance of building the negotiation capability, the traceability factor, and also on the sociology and ecologically sustainable part. So it was a wonderful learning, even though I have heard a lot of times these words from you. Thanks a lot also for Ms. Bharati Birla. You touched upon the innovative model where you highlighted the words which I told in the beginning, that it might be touching only hundreds of people right now, but in the coming days, it might be touching, it is going to be a movement touching thousands of people. So thanks a lot. It was a wonderful evening. Thanks a lot, all of you. And we look forward to your cooperation, your inputs, and your support in making this movement a big success. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Close the screen sharing. Niju, can you close the screen sharing? Hello, Niju. Yeah.
Yeah, I went ahead and did that.
Yeah. Okay. I think. I mean, we also thought that in case, even after the program, if there is to be any kind of a discussion, we will give that time. That's what we thought, Vaibhav, no?
Yeah. So, so officially, it's a close from our end for the event. But if anybody wants to discuss further, or wants to talk to us or our STG members who are here, if you have any questions, you can hang back and we can have those discussions. And thank you all for coming to the event.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Bharati, for the very good moderation or being on the chair. Anupam, you were, discontinued in between. Would you like to say anything more?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just continuing that regarding the value of the product, which I was having a plan like organic conversion, then organic certification, and infilling of these clones, quality clones, as they are producing organic and green teas. So these basic factors are very much important for value and this brand value and this product upgradation. So that's what I was going about, and that's all. Thank you.
There is many people who are here. I mean, is there any comment? I mean, I'm seeing John Lode Swami is here from IIT Chennai, or he is also leading a global program on plants. And Puneet is here, and there are many others who are here. Would you like to say something?
I think, John, there's one question in the chat. How can you order some tea from you?
Yeah, you can just place the order. We will deliver it to you.
I think there's somebody here from Ashoka as well.
Yes.
Hi, this is Shreyas here. So I work under Neelam, if you know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then I think we should close.
Yeah, I think yeah, we should close, I think.
Mayur, I think we should close now. Lokesh, would you like to say something?
I think
Okay.
everyone's gone, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll close it now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We shall leave, sir.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck, Kukul ji.
Thank you.
Kukul
Thank
ji,
you.
best
Thank
of-
you. Thank you. Thank you.
हाँ, ठीक है।
Thank you.
ध्यान रखिएगा।